What is up, guys? We're doing the Destiny First Impressions. I am with,
I'm Meta-Terminator.
yeah, he's only here today. So we're gonna bring you, guys. What's Destiny like? 3 days after launch.
Yeah, yeah, 3 days. No,
Um,
wait, no, because they technically came out on Tuesday, so yeah, 4 days. Three,
th-
4.
and we'll just talk about the game, how we like it, what's bad about, it, what's good about it, and so on and so forth. And we might ramble here and there. So let's go ahead and get on. So what is your favorite part about Destiny, Meta Terminator?
Um, I'm really enjoying just going around the different areas. Like, I've played a ton of Explore on Cosmodrome. I've explored a lot on the moon. I'm not to any of the other planets yet. Won't go into that. But there's just it's a big open world. It's a very interesting world. There's constantly stuff to do thanks to the Vanguard missions.
Yeah.
Strikes have been really fun. Mostly just all the co-op aspects of the game.
Yeah.
It's boring to play it alone. It's a ton of fun to play with people.
Yeah, I'm gonna just the gameplay solid, and then we'll probably say my least favorite part about the game is its story. It's not good. It's like it has its up point, but then it just falls again flat on its face. I have
It's not previous
Bungie story.
of story.
Yeah.
It's no Halo. It's no Marathon, which actually did have a pretty interesting story. It's not any of that.
It's just like I don't know what I'm doing. I beat the game and I still I get the point, but I kind of don't at the same time. I'm not gonna give spoilers out, but
yeah, it's if this franchise is going to go for 10 years, like Bungie and Activision intended to, if they want the story to go for that long, they're going to definitely need to step it up with either the DLC or the next Destiny game, whatever that is.
Well, yeah, which I want to talk about for a second because I have a feeling Activision's going to money hog this game now because this is Activision's biggest launch ever for a game. So
I mean, that's actually kind of surprising with Call of Duty, but
yeah, but this is I think because there was such a long drought of bad no games, everybody wanted to play this game. Whether they liked it or not, they're like, I just want a game to play, so I'll play Destiny.
It definitely does feel like one of those kind of games. Like, you could just go play it, and there's something to do no matter what mood you're in. Like, oh, I want to go play, just mess around on my own. I want to go play with a ton of people. I want to do something that really is team-based and focused, or I just want to, play multiplayer or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Bungie created a great world. That's the best part about Destiny is the atmosphere, just the worlds and great level design. Like I could stand on Venus or Mars or Earth or the moon and just stare at it for hours and just mess around with it, just to try to find every hint and crack about it. I mean, it's such a detailed world. That's the best part about the game.
The skybox and scenery, especially at the tower, just watching the background with all the ships flying and the Traveler, it's just the greatest thing.
Yeah. I don't, and this is just the first impressions. I want to get the full game review out after raids come out because Bungie's making this ginormous deal about saying the raids will make such a difference to the game.
Yeah, I don't know how raids look really amazing, but I'm not really sure that they're a very end game thing. So they recommend the first raid that's coming out is the Vault of Glass, and they recommend it from level 26 players who are completely decked out with either exotic or legendary gear. Which, that's insane. That's a lot of Destiny time.
Yeah, it's a lot of Destiny time.
By the time the American launch, but
yeah, it's a lot of Destiny time, and I mean, it's hard enough to just get to level 21. I'm level 20, and just to find something with light on it is extremely difficult.
Pretty much every vendor from a faction sells light armor, Tyler.
Well, that no, because you gotta have Vanguard marks, and you gotta have all this Vanguard rank.
You can get that stuff. You can get Vanguard, Crucible, any of the factions.
Well, I'll go into since you want to talk about the Crucible, the multiplayer's unbalanced. They give everything great to a hunter.
No, yes and no. The hunter is very unbalanced with the golden gun. The knife is extremely unbalanced. I haven't seen very many hunters. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen that many Titans. I have not seen that many hunters. I've seen a ton of Warlocks. Warlocks almost feel underpowered. It's the most played class in the game, I don't. I'm a Titan. I can't stand a Warlock. Their armor rating's too low. Their abilities just look to suck compared to everybody else's. But they're the most played class.
It's because later on they become massively OP. Like my grenade now will home in on enemies.
That is pretty insane.
It's at the beginning you're gonna get crushed in the Crucible, but once you level him up over time, he will become massively broken. Like right now, you could do instead of launch one big ball, you could launch 3 like smaller Nova bombs.
Wow.
So I don't use that. I like the one like ginormous one. And
yeah, it seems to work better, especially it's got a good balance of player versus enemy and player versus player abilities.
Yeah, and I guess we'll go ahead and we'll talk about Bungie. I'm gonna talk about it. I was a person who was not okay with what Bungie was doing. I understand that you have to please everybody and to please Sony. All right, I'm okay with exclusive guns, but not the most powerful guns in the game.
It didn't have any. They gave one gun, the hand cannon. I forget what it's called, like Hawkeye or something.
It's something massively exclusive. It's the you could get a hand cannon, an assault rifle, or a pulse rifle. The best ones are only exclusive to PlayStation.
That yeah. That's just not cool.
They get DLC. They get every DLC early.
What is it like a week early, something like that?
I don't know.
I don't think it's very long.
I don't think it's long either, but it's
because they got the beta a week early. They got an alpha. That's the biggest thing. I would have killed to play the alpha of this game because I loved the beta and I love just playing early versions of games because I love being able to put in my feedback so that the main game is better. And I mean, PlayStation got 2 weeks of the beta. Xbox only got 1 week of the beta, and then we got 2 days of private beta before they just opened it up to everyone on every console, which really feels like a ripoff considering PlayStation got 1 week where only people who pre-ordered for PlayStation got to play it.
Yeah.
And that was really annoying to me. The alpha, there wasn't really much for playing the alpha, and I mean, at this point, I would have loved to play the alpha just to hear that wizard came from the moon in-game, but that's just me.
And but then also there's the exclusive multiplayer map. I don't care honestly that much. I've seen it in action. It's awesome, but I don't care all that much.
I just love if you read the change log which Bungie released for just sort of the changes from the beta and the changes up to the release version of Destiny as well as the day one update stuff. The largest multiplayer change log is for that map. There's like 20 things on there related to balancing and exploits.
Wow.
Which is, if it looks like they literally just cobbled a multiplayer map together and threw it at people, just like here, which is hilarious to me considering how much of a deal people are making over that map.
Yeah, and then, I guess then, and I was a person, I tweeted Bungie saying it's not fair what you do, and I'm gonna get into it. Without Halo 1, let's just say all the way back in Halo 1, you can say it's their money, you can say whatever. We funded Bungie to continue making a game after Halo 1.
Definitely.
And
without Halo 1, without the Xbox, well, I won't say without the Xbox, it was originally going to be a Mac game, but without Halo 1, there would be no Bungie. Bungie would have gone bankrupt and be dead by now.
Yes, there would be no Destiny. We would still be here sitting in a huge gaming drought.
Definitely.
And
we probably would. The Xbox probably wouldn't exist.
I wouldn't even go with that. It could. I don't know unless Gears of War really saved the. Everyone would know Xbox as the Gears of War console.
God, I could not see a future like that. That would suck.
Or who knows? Maybe Sega would eventually maybe even kick out Microsoft, and everyone could still be playing on Sega consoles. I have no clue.
God,
I
get what you're saying there, but that's a scary thought.
So then, okay, they made Halo 2. I get that. Then
biggest multiplayer game of all time, highest selling game on the Xbox.
And then we go to Master Chief's debut, my personal favorite, Halo 3.
Wait, did you just say Master Chief's debut?
Master Chief's debut on the 360.
Okay, yeah. It's an amazing game. It's not my favorite, but it is probably my second favorite.
And then we go on to ODST. I think the game, while it may be a little, people say it's overpriced, you could say that, but I got my money's fun. I played a crap ton of Firefight.
That's one of the better Halo storylines too, just because it was the first Halo game where there was a team of characters, they all were people, they're not just faceless Spartans or AIs or just random Marines. It was a team of people, they all had their own separate personalities. It was just a great story, the way they interacted with everybody. And it also had some cool lead-ins to Halo 3. And it was nice to get back to New Mombasa, because that's was my favorite section of Halo 2.
And then we go on to Reach. And they said, this is our final game. We're done. We're not doing anymore. And okay, that's fine. If you want to do that, by all means. And Microsoft said, we're buying the license from you. We don't want Halo to stop.
Yeah.
And Bungie, you could say, and I agree, if Bungie's pissed off saying we had a perfect way to end it. That was our sign-off to this game. And it was a fantastic sign-off.
It was. Yeah, Reach was fantastic.
And if they want to stop it, and I understand if you're pissed off that we just did a fantastic game, and from Reach to 4, people could say it's a letdown, from Reach to 4, whatever, but, I mean, I don't know. Story-wise, I'm going to give it to 4.
Definitely. The biggest issue I had with Reach's story was, as somebody who's big into Halo lore, I've read all the Halo books, the comics, and all that. Okay, if you're going to do a game about Reach, you have to follow the established lore. Bungie said the book, Halo Fall of Reach, the first Halo book, they said that's canon. That is what happened on Reach. You want to know what happened to Reach? You read that book. Then they go and make Halo Reach, and it's nothing like what happens in the book. Like, none of the characters are in there. It's this whole new noble team. They break the lore, the linearness of the lore by putting Spartan 3s on Reach, who didn't even exist on Reach, at least in the book series. So, personally, to me, the story was still good, but it was still they kind of messed up there.
And then, so Microsoft would later buy the rights, because the anniversary in Defiant was made by 343.
343 and Certain Affinity, yes.
And, so then Bungie with the resources, they said, we're gonna, with the resources that they had from us, we said we're making Destiny. This is a project we've been wanting to do ever since you see Easter eggs in ODST about Destiny and all that stuff. And my question is, if Microsoft would have let them be after Halo Reach, would Destiny be an Xbox One exclusive?
Honestly, I'm not sure, because supposedly there had been a whole bunch of stuff about Bungie and Microsoft fighting. Because Bungie wanted to do other things within the Microsoft banner. Microsoft said, no, you're doing Halo. And they're like, okay, we declare our independence. And I want to talk about that a little bit, because it was a big deal when Bungie said, okay, we're independent from Microsoft, we're our own thing again. Everybody in the community was excited. Okay, Bungie's going to go crazy, this is going to be awesome, we're going to get more Halo stuff. And all these things, and they say, okay, we're done with Halo. All right, well, that sucks. Somebody else will continue that. But hey, you're going to do your own thing. You're going to make a new game. And then before they can even announce they're making a new game, they've signed on with Activision. It's like, I'm trying to make some kind of comparison here. It's like signing a deal with a demon and then saying, that sucks, we're done, we're going to move on to bigger and better things, and then signing a deal with Satan himself.
I mean, yeah.
That's the best way I can put it.
I mean, I don't know, and Bungie did what they did, and I again, we don't hate Destiny. I think it's a good game so far, great even.
It's definitely up there. I mean, it's second best Bungie franchise for sure.
Yeah, but it irritates me. And anyway, I had a story. I tweeted Bungie saying what you did was wrong. You were screwing the people that are funding this game, and I don't care what people say. Hey, the people that bought Halo 1 through Halo Reach funded Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Without those sales, Halo could died, I don't even know. And so I tweeted them, they said, we thank you for your concern, how could we make this better? I said, give us something. Show me some sign of life that you still care, just by a little bit, of Microsoft fans. And I got 6 beta codes instead of 3.
I mean, that's something, I suppose.
I guess, but... So what do they do after that? they announced multiplayer stuff, guns, and extra DLC, and it's exclusive DLC to 2015 for PlayStation. And again, I'm not trying to. I don't like PlayStation. I'll go out and say it. I like Xbox, but will I play PlayStation games? I want to play Bloodborne. I even kind of want to play The Order. I want to play The Last of Us, but I definitely want to play Bloodborne. I want to play the exclusives. But if I have to pick between the AAA titles, if I would rather play, let's just say, I don't know, Rage, on Xbox 360 or PS3, I'll pick my 360 every time.
Yeah, the PS3 especially just had so many problems last generation.
Yeah.
It's so many things. Like, I know you're not the biggest fan of Elder Scrolls, Tyler, but I'll take the Elder Scrolls example. Bethesda came out and said, okay, we're making DLC for Skyrim. Skyrim had a lot of issues when it launched on the PS3. Worked great on PC and Xbox, a lot of issues on PS3. They came out and said when they announced the first DLC, it's coming first to Xbox and PC because we honestly can't get what we want to do running on the PlayStation. And it took Sony developers coming to Bethesda and helping them out with it to make the thing run in its most basic form on the PlayStation.
I mean,
Skyrim's a big game, but it's not terribly hard on your system. I mean, you could just lower your graphics resolution or whatever, and it would still run fine. I mean, I've got it to run on a freaking Windows Surface, and it runs great.
Yeah.
So it should be able to run on the supposedly the most powerful console of last generation, but it didn't.
Yeah.
That's just there's too many issues there.
But Bungie. And I don't want people to say that once we gave money to Bungie, it's theirs. And I get that. But do you take money from a person and then stab them in the back?
Not unless you're an asshole.
Exactly. It's like giving the money to a hobo. Let's say it's like a Kickstarter, actually. You kickstarted, I don't know, some random game. And the company, let's just say it was originally coming to PS3. And he says, we have enough money now, we're only going to bring it to 360.
That's
You got screwed. And I would have every right for PlayStation owners to be pissed. You got screwed. You kickstarted a game, and you get backstabbed.
Pretty much.
But anyway, that's just our opinions on it. I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to get it off my chest. But Bungie, you did well on this. It's not everything that you said it was going to be. I'll judge it when raids come out, so look out for the review next week. And then we have Brooktober to look forward to. But Bungie did good on Destiny. It's not as well as they hyped it, but it's still a great game. Co-op and gameplay is fun. Visuals are great. The only thing they need to work on is getting the multiplayer more balanced, and their story needs to get way better if they want to make a Destiny 2 for a story mode for people to care about.
I mean, for me, that like, so far what I've seen is kind of meh. I haven't actually beaten the story, but if it's really as bad as everybody's saying it is, that's going to be a couple of points off if I were to give a review. Because right now, if the story was good, I'd probably give the game a 9. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's still really amazing.
It's fun. It's addicting gameplay.
The story's terrible, and this is a Bungie game. I mean, they're all about story. If the story's terrible, then what's the point?
And that was one thing Bungie always said, when they were making Halos, the story comes first, and then we're going to make a fantastic multiplayer to tag on about it.
And they always succeeded in that. There was never a point, I think, there wasn't really ever a point where they failed in that.
I've never played Marathon, so I can't give judges on that. And they made a couple really older games, so...
That's true.
But in the past games, Bungie has not seen the light till 2000... When was Halo Reach released? 09?
10. October of 10.
So, nearly 4 years have no one ever seen Bungie.
Yeah, they went dark on their forums. Literally, the website was shut down for about a year, where it was just forum activity. There weren't even any moderators. It was just dark.
Everyone thought maybe Bungie went under, I would say, and because no one believed in Destiny's, I guess, appeal that an MMO on consoles could work with all this loot and this big ambitious project.
It seems to so far.
And I enjoy it. It's a great, great game. It's not perfect. Right now, I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to give a review score just yet, but if I have to, It's right now between a 7 and an 8 without raids, and raids could bump it to a 9. I'm telling you guys right now, this game's not a 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been reading like IGN's done this really cool thing where
They're doing reviews in progress, right?
Of playing or something like that. I don't know how long it is, but they're doing a review in progress. They're streaming for pretty much an entire week. Just here's us playing the game. At the end of the day, we'll give our thoughts on Destiny. And so far, it's been mostly positive. They've had their issues. IGN tends to give out 10s where they don't deserve them. In my personal opinion, Last of Us and The Walking Dead are both not 10 games. I certainly don't believe Call of Duties are up in the 9.5s.
Did Walking Dead actually get a 10?
What?
Did The Walking Dead actually get a 10?
As I recall, yes. That around 9.5.
Wow.
I don't see that. So, whether they give it a good review or not, we'll see. But it seems like one of those things where they might give it a good review just to say, oh, well, everybody loves Destiny. Let's give it a good review.
I am predicting 8. I'm predicting a whole lot of 8s for the game.
Probably.
And
we'll see what they give out.
And I guess that's pretty much it. We like the game. I think it's polished. It's polished. It's just OP. They need to balance out multi and get a way better story. I bought the expansion pass because I don't usually do that for a lot of games, but I do it for Destiny because the gameplay and co-op is fun.
It really is. And if they add everything they're saying with the DLC, then it's going to be... It's just going to get better.
Yeah. And I guess that we're running around 22 minutes. Hopefully this audio didn't cut out, but I'll...
That would suck.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll catch you guys probably next time for the review. So look out probably next. The raids are supposed to come out this Tuesday, right?
Yes. One raid.
Oh.
I'm not sure about the others. They said one raid. So it might be a thing where they release raids like every... They do this thing on Tuesdays they've announced called the Weekly Reset, which is where you can keep all the bounties you get from the Bounty Master for basically an entire week and do them for the entire week. And then everything, all of your accumulated... I forget exactly what it is. I know for sure it's bounties. And there's a limit to the amount of Crucible, Vanguard, and just different faction marks you can get. It's going to reset that limit. So if you hit the limit of 100, now you can start earning them again. But you'll keep all your marks and stuff.
Okay. All right.
I think they're going to start rolling out raids then, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, whenever. I'll put out the review definitely sometime next week. I'm going to get more time with the game. I want to do all the strikes and everything. And